All right, so moment of truth. Let's see how this works. Beautiful. Awesome. And then opening. Awesome. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Varsity Overland channel, and in today's video I'll be installing the Kuat tonneau cover adapter for the Ibex bed rack, specifically for the Pace Edwards Ultra Groove that I had to remove about 6 months ago when I installed this bed rack. So this tonneau adapter is kind of a newer product. They sent it out to me to test fit, and we're going to go through that process today. So before I get started, there are a couple things that I have to do. As you can see, I did remove my rooftop tent a few days ago, and now I have to remove a couple other components. I still have my awning on the side. I've still got my max tracks mounted to the molly panels. I actually have to disassemble the whole rack in order to fit the tonneau cover back on, because the tonneau T-slots on both sides of the rails are just a little bit wider than I currently have the bed rack set to. So I'm going to just take the whole thing apart. I think it might be easier that way than trying to like force it into position. I'll disassemble the whole thing, put the tonneau back on, and then it'll be easier to kind of like, well, hopefully it'll be easier to kind of just set everything where it needs to be and bolt everything together. And I think while I'm doing so, I'm also going to take the rails, the crossbars that are on the top, and drop them down to the lower height, because I won't be running my rooftop tent for a while. I kind of joke about, you know, fall is gazelle tent season, and I am gonna start using my gazelle tent just like I did last fall. So I'm gonna set up the camera, hopefully run through a fast time lapse of just disassembling the rack before I can put my tonneau back on. So just as a quick little side note, as far as Kuat's concerned, this is one of my favorite things about this company is they don't send, you know, a whole packet of paper instructions. All they send is this little card. It's got the title of the gear that you purchased, and then it's got a QR code. You just scan the QR code, it'll take you to their website that has all the instructions, and then if you're smart, you just save it, star the website, screenshot the instructions, whatever you want to do, and then you'll always have it on your phone, and you don't have to worry about, oh boy, where did I put those instructions that I was reading several days ago or weeks ago or months ago, because let's be honest, we lose everything. All right, so first you insert 6 of the T-nuts into one side of your tonneau cover T-track. Then you place the new Kuat tonneau adapter plate on that side of the T-track. All right, so after you fish in your 6 T-nuts through the T-track here to varying places along the side of the bed, you put in the bolts in 3 separate locations, tighten it down, and then you've got your adapter piece attached to the side of the tonneau cover. And the adapter piece it's got this nice curvature, so it's actually shaped to the profile of the cover itself. I'd say the most important thing to remember is that your tonneau is secured to the bedside properly, because everything else on top of your bed rack, once you get it on, everything else is just secured here, which is attached to here. This is the tonneau cover. So if the tonneau cover, if anything about that attachment is messed up, everything else is going to be thrown off, and it could potentially be unsafe. Alright, so then next thing you do is you fish your T-nuts into the T-track here on the Ibex, and then you line it up with these little lips that come up from the adapter. Put your nuts in with the bolts, tighten them down, just make sure that it's evenly spaced. You want it far enough away from your back window, and also try to line it up with the end, somewhere between the end of your tonneau and the end of your bed. My tonneau is not as long as the bed rack itself, so mine hangs over just a little bit, but I mean, it's hardly noticeable when you're looking at the whole truck in general. So got that side finished. Now just gotta do the same thing over here. All right, so we're making some progress here. After you got both bed sides of the rack on, start fishing in your T-nuts here so that the bolts can go through the top of your crossbars. I always recommend to keep those loose so that you can move them freely as you adjust the other crossbars that you put on. I ended up taking that back moly panel off the headache rack. I'm going to see if I can attach it at the end and tighten it up, but it is not necessary if you're just running the low profile bars anyway. So I may just choose to keep it off. We'll see how motivational I get at the very end of this. It does help add some rigidity to the bed rack, but I also won't be putting my rooftop tent on here for quite a while, so I'm not too concerned about it at the moment. Now I'm going to add the other two low profile bars, and we should pretty much be all done after that. Well, you know what they say, measure twice, cut once. So when you're putting in these crossbars, make sure that you don't tighten down anything. You measure, you take out your tape measure, you actually, put in the work to measure the distances between them. I also have the stiffeners for the crossbars that go right into the side rails here. So these come standard. These aren't anything special. Like I mentioned earlier with the other bed rack, headache rack stiffener that goes on this side. This one just comes with the crossbars in the regular kit, so make sure you put these in. I put them in the first crossbar and the last crossbar up here. I didn't bother with the middles just because if I wanted to keep it even, I wouldn't be able to put one here because this T-track is already being used for the whole molly plate. I could maybe just move it over here and have the stiffener plate go on the side, but my OCD wouldn't like that very much because then all three of the crossbars wouldn't be evenly spaced. So I'm not going to have crazy heavy gear up here anyway. The one in the back has the stiffener, the one in the front has a stiffener. This one is just as it is, and this has always been as it is without the stiffener anyway. Even when I had the riser kit on, I didn't have the stiffener on this middle one, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, got everything pretty much all set here. I think maybe now I should just hop down and make sure that the tonneau cover closes properly. All right, so moment of truth. Let's see how this works. Beautiful. Awesome. And then opening. So I guess I'm pretty much done. I don't know who made this mess, but someone should probably clean it up. So yeah, I am loving this tonneau adapter so far. It just feels so good to finally have my tonneau cover back on the truck. Oh yes, love that sound. So all of my stuff can finally be secured inside, and I don't have to worry about the elements and kind of like strapping everything down if I have a lot to put into the bed. So I said earlier, it's gazelle tent season. I'm going to start using my ground tent, throwing it up on top of the Ibex bed rack, which is why I put the crossbars at the lower setting. It's going to be easier for me to get up there and grab things. leaving the rooftop tent off for a while. We're gonna run it like this. I'm gonna, you know, spend some time, couple weeks, more like a couple months probably, with the tonneau adapter on, so I can give Kuat my feedback. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you looking for a Bedrock tonneau adapter combination? Because this setup from Kuat is both brand new and, in my opinion, pretty cool. So anyway, thanks for sticking around, everybody. I appreciate the view as always, and I will see you next time. Peace, people.